Welcome to the Matt, author, creator, Whiteside channel, the Uni-Web interview, very first interview, for real this time, no bathrooms present. We've got the lovely J.M. Brister on with us today, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about what she does. J.M., how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you, Matt?
Doing awesome. So happy you joined me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been so fun getting to know everybody on Twitter. I had no idea how, like, it's basically like chat rooms of the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those.
It's like AOL chat rooms.
It kind of is.
I didn't realize it until like recently, but it kind of is. It's not nearly as creepy, which is nice. There's some real moderation going on there. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just doing a series of trying to highlight authors, right? People who are obviously working their tail off, wanting to create something. You obviously have a passion for writing, and I want to make sure that people know about you. So first off, tell us what you're working on now, or what do you have currently published?
Okay, so I just published my first book this December, and it's called Dark Prison, and it is the first book in a series called Gray Tower. And basically, the genre is a subgenre of romance, and it's called romantic suspense. And basically,
I've never heard of that before.
Now it's its own like little thing. It's like smut plus like action and adventure. So
okay, real quick. So smut. So that I don't necessarily understand the name so well. So what would smut categorize?
It's like the juicy parts of stuff. Like it's like it's a nickname for romance. How about that?
Is the word moist used?
I don't like that word.
I don't know a lot of people that like that word.
No, I avoid that word if possible.
Avoid it. Okay. So we know that you don't like the M word. We won't even say it again.
Okay.
Okay. So the Gray Tower series, right? Mm-hmm. Awesome. So what is it about the book? What's the plot?
Well, the overarching kind of deal for the series is that Gray Tower is a private military company, and they go and do awesome things. I mean, they get hired out by the U.S. government, and they also do private things as well, like bodyguard services and just all sorts of stuff around the world, in the U.S., all that stuff. kind of like a gray ops, kind of like off the books sort of deal.
Like mercenaries for hire kind of deal?
Yeah.
That sounds cool. So, but it's a romance.
It is romance. Yes. Ooh. So there's always, I know.
It's intriguing. I got goosebumps a little bit. That sounds cool.
Yeah. So basically there's two new characters in each of the books. In the first book, in Dark Prison, we have Kira and Logan. And Logan is part of Gray Tower, and he is basically, how I want to say, looking into this bad company called Amherst Global. And the guy that runs the company, he's a real bad guy, and they're kind of on the radar to be taken down. And Kira is the daughter of the guy that owns Amherst Global. And she's not evil. In fact, she finds out what's going on, and she gets locked away for like years and years until she gets out, and she kind of stumbles into Logan's life. And so off the romance goes.
Ah, what a twisted tale, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure, I want to recap, make sure I got this straight. So the father of the protagonist who's in the romantic relationship with Logan is the one that they're trying to kill.
Well, not necessarily kill. He's all about Damien, who's the father. He's like he's all about like leaving a legacy. And so the fact that his only, the fact that his only child doesn't want anything to do with him kind of drives him nuts. So he decides that he's going to set her up with one of his company guys and basically kind of force her into a marriage. And of course, that's like creepy. No. So she runs.
Arranged marriages are the best.
Well, no, not this guy. This guy's pretty sadistic. So
not a cool dude.
Mm-mm.
I only imagine arranged marriages like on The Simpsons with Apu and his wife. Have you?
Not.
I watch
This
a
would
lot of
not
cards. I
this
watch a lot of
would not be a
cartoons.
mutual arrangement. So
Understood. Cool. So I was excited when you said legacy because I before we started recording, I asked you about legacy. So for me, it's very important to understand like why the writer writes. You know, what makes you tick? Why are you doing this thing, writing books, right? It seems like such a silly thing to, at least for me. I know when like telling my family and my friends that I'm writing all day long. It's basically they look at me like I'm coloring. You know, doing something. It's like,
yeah,
good job, put away the crayons, man. Why don't you get a real job, kind of thing.
yeah.
Um, but in all honesty, it's deeper than that, right? There's something else there. So what is it for you? What's the reason you write?
Um, well, I started doing it for myself. I'm just kind of in my head a lot, like daydreamer sort of deal. But as I've kind of gone through some bumpy spots in my life, I've started to put some of that out on paper. And I've kind of got this whole thing going where each main character of each of my books is going to represent an aspect of myself or of something that I've dealt with.
Okay.
In the case of Dark Prison, Logan represents being jaded at your job and like, okay, I'm at a crossroads. I need to do something. Kira represents bad relationships with parents.
Okay.
And so that's where I started with those two. And my next book that I'm working on, I do have a title for it. It's called Troubled Paradise.
Ooh,
The two, yeah, it's on an island and everything. It's pretty cool. But
I like
the
that.
two characters represent, one is substance abuse, and the other one is anxiety and self-esteem. So,
Man, so you're hitting on some very relatable topics.
Mhm.
I can't imagine anyone has ever had trouble with their parents or hated their job. Wow,
Of
that's
course,
really cool.
nobody, right? No.
No, yeah, nobody. Everyone loves their parents, especially growing up, and everyone loves their jobs. You know, I was thinking about it actually, like career-wise, because I used to do like all kinds of like management and personal training and stuff like that. And I was thinking, like, man, it'd be so cool to be able to do this for a living. Like, what a dream job. Like,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to just sit around and talk to my friends all day long. It'd be so cool. And I wouldn't have to hate my jobs.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
So when is it Twisted Paradise?
Troubled Paradise.
Troubled Paradise. When is that going to be? Are you working
I
on that now?
I'm working on it right now. I'm about 35% done with the first draft,
Hmm.
which is pretty good. I'm really hoping to do sometime during the summer, a summer release.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll
How
see.
long? What's your process like? How long does it typically take you to go from plot to finished?
Oh goodness. Well, the
Big
my
question.
first one took me a while. I think I started in 2015 and it took me until the end of 2018 to get it published. But in this
Yeah,
case, I'm not as apprehensive about the publishing process. So
sure.
I'm just like just writing, getting stuff done. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Shouldn't be too long. I have the good thing about this series is that I have like all the books mapped out in my head. So right
Uh-huh.
now it's just kind of like there's this, it's kind of like an overarching deal like that it goes through. Because the main guy that owns the company, he started the company as a way to get revenge on people that killed his daughter. And so as the series goes along, you get more and more involved in that. So yes, you can read the books as a standalone and be perfectly fine, but you're
Okay.
best off reading them in order and going through it that way.
Awesome. Okay. So and I was gonna ask you too, this whole idea of like plotting your work and also like or being a pantser. So for myself, I started writing pretty recently. I mean, I've written my whole life, but just honestly got down to it about 6 months ago. And I find myself not really plotting very much. Sounds like for I just kind of like close my eyes and hope for the best. But but it sounds like for you, you're more of a plotter. Is that right?
Yeah, I daydream a lot. That's just my deal. I don't know.
You see visions,
I do. No, not like that. That's kind
not
of
like crazy,
not crazy weird.
not crazy people vision.
I don't know. I am kind of crazy, so that's all right.
We're all a little crazy. It's no biggie. So you write out the plot though beforehand.
It's kind of all in my head. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Awesome. So one of the favorite. What's your what would you say like your biggest inspiration is for writing, for
Oh,
doing what you do?
I don't know.
Like who inspired you as an author? Like you were like,
Oh
I want to write
goodness.
like that. Oh my God.
Like when I was a kid, I like loved Timothy Zahn. I thought he was awesome. He's a big sci-fi writer. And then as things went along, I started actually reading romance for like the first time in like 2012. Like I had never read them before, but like as like ebooks and like all that stuff came about, like the stigma about holding a romance novel in front of you when you're on the bus kind of went away. And so the
Oh, with the
whole
guy
like
with his shirt off, the guy.
yeah. So that kind of went away with ebooks, and so people like really started getting into it, and so did I. I thought it was great. So here I am. No.
Okay, awesome. But the writing's not all you do. You edit. I mean, you're an editor as well, right?
Yeah, I edit for Real Taku Gamer. It's a gaming and geek culture website. And I'm also a stay-at-home mom. And in a previous life, I was an English teacher.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
So how long have you been with Real Taku Gamer?
since 2014. Yeah,
Okay.
is when
What's that all about? What do y'all do there?
we basically report on gaming and geek news. We do reviews, editorials, basically anything to get your geek on, we got. As well as
Anything to get your
yeah,
geek on.
get your
Heck
geek
yeah.
on.
I like that. Very cool. So, serious question.
Mm-hmm.
I see the weights in the background.
Mm-hmm.
How much you curling?
Not
You got
that
some
much right
guns?
now. Not right. You can't see them
You
right
got
now.
some pipes?
Not really. Not right now.
No.
Maybe in a year.
Maybe in a year. You
Maybe in a
down there
year.
hitting it Rocky Balboa style?
Trying.
Put together a montage of you working out?
No, I don't have
No.
that.
Not that.
But if you look, my daughter's like trying to work out in the background, so it's all
I know.
right.
I see her jumping around. That's so awesome.
She's a
All
little
right.
stir
So
crazy with the cold. How about that?
she what?
She's a little stir crazy with the cold.
Oh yeah, no, not getting to go outside.
Mm.
I bet it is. I have a dog. She's just been laying around all day. I try to get her outside, but I mean, it's only what, like 35, 40
Oh, I
degrees.
don't even want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear it. It's like
I'm
7
very
degrees out
delicate.
now.
I'm very delicate, okay? I may have facial hair in a plaid shirt, but I do not do cold weather. I was born in Florida and raised in Atlanta.
Uh,
I'm used to the heat.
yeah, I miss those days when I lived in the South.
I'm telling you, it's sweet living. Sweet living. All right, so if you were gonna leave us with anything, something we don't know about you, something you'd like people to know about you, any kind of special hidden talent, any legacy or words you'd like to leave, words of wisdom.
Oh goodness, I don't have any wisdom. I'm sorry.
Wisdom.
I don't really have any of that. I like to play video games. I used to play a lot of music back in the day,
Wait,
but that was like
you in a band?
maybe in like high school. Yeah, I played bass.
Bass guitar, very cool. What was
Yeah.
the name of the band?
Oh goodness, Peloria of all things. I know.
What kind of music did you guys play? Was it like grunge?
I don't know. Those were some dark days.
It's like
Back in like the early 2000s. That was.
that is
No, we
fantastic.
were kind of, I guess, like alternative. I don't know.
So you've been creative your whole life then, huh?
Yeah, that's just I gotta do something. I gotta hustle with something, whatever it is.
I'm telling you, if you don't let that creative monster out, it's like a beast inside of you. It'll just tear you apart from the inside out. I've realized that. It's got to have an outlet.
It does.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Hey, JM,
Mm.
you're awesome.
Well, thank you.
I
So
think
are you,
you.
Matt. Thanks
Oh,
for
thank you for
interviewing
saying
me.
that.
This has been cool.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came on. This is honestly like, I don't know, this is like a dream come true for me, to be honest with you. Like I said, getting to sit around and talk with my friends, like how cool is that? Like that's like for me, that's the best thing I could ever hope to do in life is to be able to help my friends, talk to them, and if this any way helps you sell books and promote yourself and that kind of thing, I mean that makes it all the better. And that's what I hope. I hope that people get to know you a little bit better, and that they'll check out your work. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna leave links to your book
Okay.
in the description of the video.
Cool.
Um, yeah, so thanks so much for joining me,
Okay. Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you on Twitter.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm just gonna stop here.